Welcome to Bonehead Weekly. Chad, what the hell is a gargar?
I literally couldn't come up with anything for my nameplate, so I just typed Gargar.
But
So
where did you get gargar?
literally first thing that popped in my head because I couldn't come up with anything.
You
Can't
could have
tell you.
called yourself Chad.
No, never.
Okay.
I don't identify as a human being anymore.
What do you identify as?
A gargar.
A Gargar
But you
junkie,
And if
won't
you want
tell
to
yes.
me
know what a
what that is.
gargar is,
No,
it's
I'm
that.
sick of your pronoun bullshit, Chad.
I think you need to be more accepting.
I will only accept
His
the
mama called him
pronounces.
Clay. I'm going to call him Clay.
I will only accept the pronunciations of fucking you. Pronouns, sorry, pronouns of fucning you.
I don't know how to say
Pronunciations.
any of that. I don't know.
Ugh.
Oh, I do want to give a
I don't
shout
play
out.
blue.
Two things. One, thank you to Barbara for putting together the 400th. That was a big undertaking, and I still haven't listened to all of it. I don't know if you all have or not. I listened to an hour of it, and I just got sick of hearing my voice
Hold on.
and
I'm
watched.
assuming she cut some of it because none of them have been canceled yet, or
Yeah,
nobody watched it.
yeah. So I wanted to say thank you, and then sorry about the audio going up late. She and I both forgot that she didn't just uploaded to YouTube. I forgot about that, and I had to do that rest of it. And then the second part is, or the third, Mick Strawn. Yes, you've been. He texted me today. I do apologize. It's been almost 9 years. I'm sorry. He texts, and I guess where the he finally listened, going. He said had some expletives, and how 9 years of his life was gone.
In all fairness,
What was he going
so
to do
is
with it
nine
anyway?
years of our lives, and we were just going to waste it.
Waste it. Just nothing going on. But anyway, thank you to Barbara. We appreciate you putting all the different shots from all the episodes in there. All, all of us, from going dark hair to gray to bald to fat, back to skinny to fat. I was just, as we bounce around up, it's kind of funny. So, what is our topic today? It's another Chad Jennings topic. James, you want to explain Chad's topic?
Yeah, I'll speak for Chad because if we hear directly from Chad, you're familiar with that Dogma movie, right? It's like
Yeah,
hearing Alanis
you were
Morissette
basically the
speak.
Metatron.
Yeah, and so I have to speak in Chad's place when it comes to
Speak
naming
up for
topics.
God.
Gentlemen, every year several movies are made, and then also every year several sequels to those previous movies are made. And sometimes the sequels actually go, you know what, even though that first movie was, let's just say a comedy, we'll make the next one a Victorian drama. Okay, that rarely happens, but the idea is we're going to be talking about movies that the first movie is in one genre, fits nicely, and the second movie seems to go, we're jumping genres. So this is a topic about films that change genres for the sequel. Now,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's a huge change, whether it's it's slightly different, it'll probably vary on which ones we talk about and how each of us approach the topic because as we talked about last week, we never actually agree on much and
No,
it bounces all over the place. So that's what we're doing for this week. Thanks to Chad once again, as he is the font of all topics.
can you all give us an example? Is there an example to give without giving the movie? What's the most
Yeah,
famous one you
no,
all
you want me
think?
to? I can give one that's obvious, though. I guess it's kind of obscure. Actually, I'll give one that everybody knows.
Okay, okay, I'm kind of curious where you're going because I want to.
Yeah, I am too. Because I've got one in my head, but I don't know if it's what everyone
I
would.
probably got this. I wonder if me. Go ahead.
I would say an easy example that comes to mind is Terminator,
Yep, that was it.
which is
That is actually not what I was going to say.
it's a techno noir horror movie,
Yeah.
right? It's a horror movie at its heart, and then Terminator 2 is an action film.
Yeah.
It
So,
uses the trappings of the first one, but it is much more an action film.
Yeah.
huh?
And James
I
Cameron was kind of forced to do that with first because he didn't have a budget.
I
So
I'm I don't know. I'm not even trying to be contrarian. I That would never occurred to me. I think it's just, to me, it's not really switching the genre or anything per se. It was just having $100 million. There's still blood, there's still murder, there's still the kind of the machine. It's just slicker. So I'm curious. Yeah, that didn't occur
See,
to
it
me.
doesn't play as horror to me. I mean,
The-
it
yeah,
has some
two.
horrific elements.
Yeah, but two's a straight action film, where one is more, like I said, a
I,
thriller.
I'll give you another example,
I
Joe, and
wonder
you
what
talked
his,
about this
I wonder
before,
what he
so
would
I'm
say
not
about it.
stealing
Yeah.
it from anybody, but I can give you another example, Joe, that you've talked about. Texas
Which one?
Chainsaw Massacre and Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Oh,
2.
well, actually, okay. Well, then I'll use my other one for the other one. But that's a really
Yeah.
good, to me, that's another example of,
I know Joe's done, but he's like, no, this is the best one, and I know which one he's thinking
well,
of.
it's not necessarily the best one. It's just the one that came to mind. I never thought of the Terminator. I'm still pondering it. I'm literally thinking about it because I was like, is it? I don't know. That's a good question. Because
But
I
I mean,
hadn't,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre may be more direct, and you've used it before. That's why
it
I
did.
thought
It
I'd
did.
use it.
It's changed. Of course,
It's the first one,
Toby said he didn't change anything. He said the first one was a dark comedy. So we went to
but
his.
it plays much
I agree.
darker.
I agree. And if you watch it repeatedly, it is like The Exorcist can be seen as a kind of a dark comedy, but it is especially it's still so horrific. Yeah, it depends on your sense of humor. Okay, who wants to go first?
I will opt to go last because I've got some obscure ones, and I want to see where you guys go.
Well, I will go for
I'll
the.
go first.
Oh,
And if
okay.
I
If you
if I
want.
could ever get my camera to not look like somebody with glaucoma is looking at you.
You clear as a bell.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about,
You
Chad.
look good. You never look better.
I'll
Boy,
go,
I
and this is
didn't know Brendan Routh was his roommate. Wow.
I'll I'll go first, and it's an
You want
obvious example.
do me a favor while you're talking. I'm gonna hop out, hop back in. You just keep talking. I'll be right back.
He could do the time warp and do a jump to the
He
left
said, "Do
and
me
a
a
step to
favor
the
while I
right.
hop back in. I'm gonna. You keep talking while I. Well, when has he ever stopped you from talking?
I don't know. A lot of people have
That was the
tried.
only thing about the 400th episode. The only person who talked anywhere near as much as I did was you.
Yeah, no,
And
no.
Chad just it
I got a
didn't.
lot of words in edgewise that time. So I'm gonna go with an obvious
Yeah,
one
what's your obvious?
um if you're a fan of both horror movies and bad kids comedies. It turns out you can watch both of these movies and it works. Munchies was made in 1987 as a R-rated horror comedy.
You're
But
leaving Munchies out. Chad
it's
just
it
got back.
it's got, the jokes. It's a 80s
Mm-hmm.
VHS type horror movies. But then in 1992, we got Munchie, which was Dom DeLuise voicing a fun-loving. They were trying to make him cute, not quite ET like, but a cute version of a Munchie. And he's cute and he teaches moral lessons. And again, he's voiced by Dom DeLuise, and it's like Saturday afternoon cable, but it's technically a sequel to Munchies.
And who directed it, James?
Oh, dude, I just blanked. I knew
Paul
you were going to
Thomas
say it.
Anderson.
Jim
Oh,
Wynorski.
yeah, there you go. So Munchies and Munchie. Munchie's a follow-up to Munchies, but if you see any direct crossovers, you let me know. It is one of the great examples of a sequel that vaguely, in that it has a creature, is a follow-up to the first
Oh,
one.
I gotta ask James because with Munchie, because I am a fan of the original. Do you know who started? I know you mentioned Dom DeLuise, but did you mention anybody else?
No, no.
Okay, Lonnie Anderson,
Yeah.
Art Johnson, which if you look at Art Johnson, you go, oh, it's that maniac. But also too, in one of her first roles, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
What? All
And
right.
by the way, the original Munchies, I should give credit, does star Harvey Korman.
It does. It does.
Yes,
I
So
haven't seen that since
as multiple characters.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's I mean these movies exist. And by the way, the first Munchies was directed by Tina Hirsch.
Okay. I think I know which one Chad was thinking that I would say, but I'm going to go another way, but it's still kind of almost the same genre. Another one I think, and I'm curious since you brought out Terminator and Terminator 2, I want to say Gremlins and Gremlins 2.
Yeah, it's on my.
Oh, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
take it from you.
No, dude. I that's why I want to go last because I have a bunch. So
So
I do too.
Gremlins 2, and there, if you can find it, James Whale Bake Sale, it's a YouTube channel. They do really great snippets of things that they find other way. James Whale Bake Sale, and they do a lot of Tarantino's things and put them together. His his take on it was that he says Gremlins 2 and that Joe Dante may be the only director to give that big of a fuck you to his own movie, to the original source of nope, that was really stupid. This is and I hate it so bad I'm going to spend the next 110 minutes making fun of it. And he's not wrong. Like if you
Yeah,
think about how that got through the studio system, and I know how it did, and it's three times the budget, came out 6 years later, didn't do
later.
as well, yada yada yada. All these things we all know. They brought in Rick Baker. He wa- and it's crazy, and it's a crazy movie. But have you ever thought Gremlins 2 exists?
I never
And,
thought it like that. No.
but you understand, Chad, that they shouldn't. Like,
Yeah.
did no one read the screenplay? Did no one see what was going on? And Joe Dante says that he just read, they was like, couldn't get it going. He was like, yeah, do whatever you want. And they just got to do whatever he wanted. And it's his preference, but it really is the first one to me. And once again, if you say Terminator 2, I wasn't going to include this one, but since you said it, that was the next one that came to mind. It was like, I get that it's still little alien or little monsters, little green men, literally, and that they're attacking a town instead of a building. And the first one is a dark comedy, somewhat, but it is more horrific and dark. And the second one it's literally fucking Looney Tunes.
It's Looney Tunes. And like I said, I mean,
The
and you
Looney
have,
Tunes are open the movie.
yeah, and I mean, like there are some goofy characters in the first one, but then Gremlins 2, of course, has the Trump archetype character played by oh my God,
The
John
great
Glover.
John
John
Glover.
Glover. I almost forgot his name, and John Glover's one of my favorite actors of all time.
And we
Um,
all agree about that. John Glover is awesome.
yeah, but I mean, and Robert Picardo, and then the weird Christopher
Wearing
Lee
that
just
wig.
yeah. I mean, it's just it was such a weird movie, and I remember seeing it in the theater, not knowing what I was going to see, and going, "This is not Gremlins," but I still loved it.
I, my mind melted. I think I've said this on the show before. When that gremlin took out that Uzi in the theater in 1990, whenever it came out, and I was watching it, my mind melted. I just thought that was the greatest thing. It's the first movie I ever saw twice in the theater. I just loved it so much. But
See,
it
I
wasn't.
liked the Gremlin turning into the spider, and I love that blew my mind. So
It's all awesome, and it's a totally tonally different movie than the first Gremlins. All right, Chad.
okay, so I am going with my first pick, and it's a clue. It's in the room. Got to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, compared to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original.
What?
So
There's just
two
still four Ninja Turtles.
two completely different movies. So the first one, which remember at the time, that was the highest grossing um
Independent,
independent
independently produced movie. Yeah.
people who are listening. I'm sorry, I've had a rough day and my brain is not registering. But yeah, it was the highest grossing independent film ever made. And it was very dark tonally. There was some goofy elements, but overall it was a very toned down, different from what we were expecting when fans of the animated film show, when it's just goofy hijinks, and then you got this serious toned down version of the Turtles. Cut to, well, this movie made a whole bunch of money, we need to rush a sequel now. And then they completely go out and just scrape everything that made that first one a success and turned it into the second one into an hour and a half cartoon.
Well, almost everyone who had anything to do with the one was fired.
Right. Yeah.
I
They
mean,
were all,
even some of the voices of the actors, the directors, he never survived. I think he was fired during the cutting of the movie.
yeah. And then and then so they thought they had it. And then granted, Grant 2 made a bunch of money, but it was nowhere near the same thing. I mean, you had two cartoon villains, and then even the toned down Shredder becomes a giant cartoon figure. I mean, and then of course you got the kooky scientist played by David Warner, who really is right from the cartoon.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I had to go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 as my first pick, because that's not one people think about a lot as being completely different from the original.
Well, and I think one of the things that gets me about the sequel is the first one, like you said, it's dark. I mean,
Hmm.
Raphael gets almost beat to death, right? And recovers
Right.
in a bathtub and blah 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 blah. And I remember that scene in the movie blowing like, oh my God, they
And it's all about it's basically child slavery. I mean, it's taking these children and turning them into hardened criminals and eventually ninjas. I mean,
yeah.
it's all about that. And yeah,
But in this
it had its elements of goofiness. Like for example, when the turtles were together, Michelangelo would act goofy, Donatello would say some smart aleck remarks, but it was not said it just wasn't the cartoon version. Which
well,
when we were kids and we saw this coming out, we are like, oh, a giant cartoon, yay! But it wasn't that. It was something better.
and I think the problem is the sequel is dumb. Like I
Faces in it.
no. What I mean is it's in that it's dumb, and what I mean by that is, I allegedly one of the reasons that they toned down the second one was so many parents were shocked by what we saw,
Yeah.
whereas my mom was like, "Man, whatever." But anyway,
I saw it with my
um,
mom. She couldn't that she enjoyed it more than I as much as I did.
but there's a scene in the second one, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it's the second one, not the third one, where they get caught in a net and they're pulled up or whatever in the net.
Hmm.
And all I'm screaming the entire time is, if only one of you had swords on your back, because the
Yeah.
swords are right, they're
Yeah.
right there.
If I'm not mistaken, that's where they get introduced to Tokar and Razor.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and the entire time I'm like, you cut yourself free. You have the tools on you. But
Yeah.
anyway, and
And of course in the second one, who was really the main focus in part two? Ernie Reyes Jr. So
And
no, anyway,
here's how dumb I am. It never occurred to me till James brought it up during a bonehead.
about the
dude,
swords,
I was
Just
yelling.
never. I don't think I ever thought that. Even in when I saw that movie in the theater, Chad, and I saw all three of them in the theater. I even remember thinking, shouldn't probably. Well, I don't remember this, but I'm pretty sure it was. I didn't delve too much into that. Of it. It was a pretty goofy experience.
Nope, nope. I was as a
Third
kid,
one's
it
even
made me
worse.
made mad, and rewatching it when my son was in
see,
his
it's
huge Ninja Turtle phase, I was like, just get the swords out of your back.
and I am not I do not agree with James on that one. I actually really enjoyed the second one, but again, it was just something different, and I
Oh,
still to
dude,
this day enjoy it. So
I enjoyed it as a kid. I enjoy it on some level now, but it's one of those moments that take me out. Like again, we talked about this before. You can get me to suspend disbelief, and you can create the reality of your world, and I'll go along for the ride. But he used the swords earlier in the film.
I just think I'm a dumbass because
uh,
It's not so.
never bothered to think about it.
hold on, I'll blow your mind. If you think about all three films, it's almost the same steps as another trilogy that I think Joe will bring up. But
Oh, I
we'll
thought
hit
about it. I thought
yeah,
about it. You're not wrong.
yeah.
You're not wrong.
We'll
Other
talk
than the
about it when that one
middle one
gets
is the other than the middle one's the best one.
yeah. And we'll talk about this when we get to it. But I do want to
Well,
say,
I don't think I'm going to bring it up, but yeah, because
oh
I'm
my
going to
God,
be.
why wouldn't you?
I
But it's
have a long list too.
okay. But anyway, I would just say this. It's I think this is why, other than the one that got released a couple of years ago, that's why TMNT, the computer animated version of the Turtles, is like my top second favorite Turtles film because it has that same tonal consistency as the first one. So
Yeah,
anyway, who's next?
James.
I'm going to go with one that it's been talked about a lot, so I don't have to talk much about it. But it is one of the biggest. Matter of fact, you could argue that every sequel after the first one jumps genres around and all of that stuff. But the first to the second is the biggest jump. You have a fun fantasy sword and sorcery movie, and then the sequel is about them being aliens from outer space. It's
Yeah,
Highlander.
this is on several of those lists, by the way.
Highlander is, I mean, it's the first one stands, and the problem with the first one is if you watch it,
He's the last one.
he's the last one, and he becomes more or less God, right?
Yes.
I mean, he has the ultimate power, and that makes it really hard to do a fight.
It,
So they do this sequel, and if you watch the original cut, and there's a renegade version, I think it's been recut about 3 or 4 times now that you can buy. Highlander 2: The Quickening becomes this science fiction film where he went on to become a scientist and created a shield on the Earth to address um, the ozone layer being depleted. Very timely when it was made, but it doesn't answer the question of how he became a genius scientist that created a shield around the Earth. And then they send, because they retcon it to where the new aliens arrive from their planet, which makes him, and they come to kill him, which seems like an odd choice since he's about ready to die of old age. But then
And
he
it
kills one of
rejuvenates
them.
him.
Yeah, he kills one of them and returns to being immortal and
Folks,
has to
if you've never
fight
seen it,
again.
there's no explaining it.
No, it is really weird. And by the way, I love the Highlander I own all of these movies. That in game, all of them, and none of them really connect well.
No.
They're all glorious fun if you do not think about it. If you want a movie about, oh, is this a movie about an immortal cutting people's heads off? I'm in. There you go. That's great for you. You're gonna have a good time. If you want a linear plot, you're going to be disappointed. That being said, is my butt going to be in the seat when Cavill's version comes out? Yes, it is. I will be there. I will be there. I don't know opening night. We'll see what my schedule looks like, but pretty close to
Well,
opening
you're
night.
busy.
I still say the Final Dimension is underappreciated. I love the Highlander series as well. So, but I can't. The only one I can't get on board with James with is Endgame. God, that movie was awful.
Dude, I go back and if you can find it, watch the original trailer and say what happened to that movie. Because
Yeah.
there's an
Oh no.
entire scene where he has the wizard powers and he brings that fireball. Because, spoiler, he kills a wizard in, is it three? Is that Final Dimension? Where
Yes.
he kills the wizard. Spoiler. And he should, by the rules of the quickening at that point, have all the magical abilities too. And then, so in the trailer, they made a trailer where it looks like he did have them, and then that doesn't show up in the final film.
Yeah. No. I remember the trailer, and I was so looking forward to Endgame, and then I saw it. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Again, I enjoy it simply because it's over the top. But anyway,
Joe.
All right. There is three different ones I'm having a really hard time with, but I can't believe we didn't use mine was House of a Thousand Corpses of the Devil's Rejects.
I made it on my list, but I was going to leave it up to you all to mention it.
When you all were talking back and forth of the easy ones and you all went Terminator 2, I thought that's what I was thinking. To me, that's one of the biggest easy examples of House of a Thousand Corpses and having the same characters, the same people play them, all except for Mother Firefly, of just two completely different pictures altogether. And I'm pretty sure our audience has seen House of a Thousand. I know James always explains, and sometimes you both do, but pretty sure they've seen House of a Thousand Corpses. It's a bizarre haunted house, fever
road
dream,
trip-ish movie, and that they're on a road trip.
and road trip-ish. And then and then Devil's Rejects, you follow the bad guys and feel bad for them. And it's a 70s grindhouse movie. Then they're also on a road trip trying to hide out.
Yeah,
But they're two totally different movies. They're
yeah,
both horror film. Actually, the second one I guess is a horror film because people are being murdered and stuff, but it's more of like a revenge thriller.
yeah, yeah.
More
And
like
the
a
thing about it, and
Peckinpah movie, right?
we've talked about it before. Everybody in that movie's bad.
Yeah. Oh no, there's not one there's no main character that isn't an antagonist, but the main antagonists are the protagonists.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but I mean, and the Tom Tolles played the police officer in the
Yeah.
sheriff in the first one, and it's his brother, right?
Yeah.
Is the
It's
sheriff
chasing
in the
down the
second
fireflies. Yeah.
because
Played
he
by
wants
William
revenge
Forsythe.
for the death of his brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
That's
he's a terrible human being.
yeah.
I mean, even if you are pro revenge, he takes it to extremes. It's
I
Captain Ahab.
Yep. Yeah, I that was just the one. And then there's another one too, but Chad.
So I think I have been debating on choosing this one because I think I thought it might get the same reaction from Joe that I did not expect Joe to say about T Terminator and Terminator 2.
I was just No, I am processing it because I really just
Yeah.
restarted rewatching Terminator the other day because I actually used to prefer the first one over the second one just because I don't know, I just admire how he how hard it was.
Yeah. And no, that's fine. But the reason why I was debating on this was because I thought this would get your reaction, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Uh, and the sequel, honestly, to this original film is actually in terms of the entire series, the only really different one. I got to talk about Predator and Predator 2
Just
because,
because it's in the different locale, or
well, in a way, yeah, because what Predator 1 is, it's an army film. It's guys in the jungle on a mission to hunt down this base, kill everybody there. But now it turns it again. It switches midway through, and it's a movie about survival. Something is hunting them now. Cut to Predator 2, which takes place in the future,
Mhm.
is in the city, and it's not necessarily the Predator hunting anybody specifically. It's John Glover trying to track down who's doing all these killings.
Danny Glover,
What did I say?
John Glover.
Oh,
Which I
shit.
would have also watched that movie. I'll be
I
honest.
am looking at a picture of John Glover on
And
my
it-
right screen.
I bet you are. Did you spit in your hand too?
Oh, I wish I could get Brimstone.
John
Oh,
Glover.
now you've made me sad. Why won't they really do
Hold
it
on, I
video
wanna-
on demand?
Release
I wanna-
the Brimstone files.
I gotta go on a rant here briefly because now that it got brought up, I have been fuming at YouTube because I can find every episode of Due South on YouTube. I can
I've never
find
seen
every.
that.
Oh, it's I love that show. I
My
could
father
find,
was obsessed with Due South, by the way.
yeah. James, I have the entire DVD box set in my
It-
front room.
Did the guy that played the New York cop change?
Yes.
Okay, that's what, because my dad literally would be like, "It changed, but really, as long as the bounty's there, it's fine."
Yeah. I can find every episode of Christopher Lloyd's forgotten late 90s TV show Deadly Game,
I've got it on DVD.
but I cannot find Brimstone. It's insane. Back to Predator 2. But yeah, I just look at those two films. They are drastically different from one another.
But structurally, they're kind of the same in the sense
Other
of,
than the fact that there is a predator.
no, the third act. We're just
No.
re-what.
The third act is structurally the same as the first one, yes,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
everything
yeah.
else is different.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a team and they're
Where all of the other Predator films, even after, with the exception of Shane Black's version where it takes place in a town, but it's still the same thing.
Yeah.
Two
So
is
is your
different.
argument that Danny Glover's is a whodunit?
Yeah.
It is a
Essentially.
little
I can
bit
see
of a
that.
whodunit.
Yeah,
It
I
is a
can see
little
that.
bit of a whodunit. He's right. Yeah, you're right. When
Yeah,
James
I
says
mean,
it
it's-
that way, it is a little bit of a whodunit.
It's two completely different films.
I mean, but the problem
Except
is
for the third act.
everyone, the difference is that everyone is on who did it except for the people in the movie.
Yeah, but it's kind of like those crime movies or 48 Hours where they pretty much say who did it in the beginning,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the joy is figuring out how they figure it out.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
watching them
By the
try
way,
to figure it
that's every episode of Poker Face on Peacock.
I know, which I enjoy.
out.
by
I
the
haven't
way.
watched the second
That's-
season. Is it as good as the first season?
Diminishing returns, but it's still entertaining.
Okay, because I
And it's
really
gone,
like.
and it officially got canceled. So
Yeah, I know.
But aren't they
I
bringing
really-
it back with Peter Dinklage?
yeah, which I don't understand that, but
I
whatever.
do.
Bless
I'm
him.
along for the ride. I never what's his name has never let me down as far as creating a show and making it at least engaging.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Also, that Toxic Avenger is way better than it has any right to be.
I genuinely love it. And
I genuinely liked it. Which
I
I
want you-
feel is me saying something, by the way.
yeah, believe me, I know. Uh,
Genuinely
Um,
liked it.
so that's my pick. Whoever's Joe.
It's me. Is it or is it James?
It's me, right? Because
Yeah.
Chad went last, and
Yeah.
okay. Man, I have a list, but I'm going to go with one that started rewatching these because they're doing a prequel, and it's one of the biggest shifts ever. And if you grew up in the '80s or early '90s, you know this franchise. And I can remember hearing people say, "Oh, you can skip the first one," if they just want an action film. First Blood, and then
No, that's on
Rambo
another
First
one
Blood
of the
Part 2.
list. Rambo 2, because it's a totally different movie
The
than
first movie is about PTSD
Yeah.
and what it means to have survived a war and trying to find a home, trying to find some place where you can just be. And what does it mean if you've been trained to only fight and hate
Yep.
and he just wants to find a place where he can be left alone, and the sheriff doesn't want his type in town, and that is not First Blood Part Two.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're familiar, and I'm blanking on the gentleman who wrote the books,
David
I know what
Morrell.
you're talking about. It doesn't matter.
David
fascinating
Morrell.
author. Yeah, thank you. And by the way, he wrote a book about books that he liked and things that inspired him that I recommend reading. It was or listening to the audiobook of it. It's fascinating. Anyway, but he even said, he was like, yeah, there's a reason why, spoiler, if you read the book, he died, and then he wrote a sequel where basically it was, what if he didn't die? Because the movie proved so popular. But I think it's really interesting that, the first one, and so I'm interested in this prequel coming out. Which one is it going to cater to? I worry. And by the way, I enjoy all the Rambo films. I saw the last one in theaters. I was one of the people who did.
Oh my
Um,
God, it's so bad.
Is that the one with
I
where he's
where he
just
goes to
killing
Mexico.
Mexicans? I'm not
Yeah, where he
being.
goes. No, he goes to Mexico because his
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
And
dude, it's not Shakespeare.
that whole scene is way too rough for me, especially for and that's saying something for a Rambo film.
No, what there's about two Rambo films that are I would argue deeply problematic. The one where he saves Afghanistan by training all those people
Yeah,
that
the
didn't age
Taliban.
well.
You mean the Taliban?
Yeah, Chad. Thank you. And that one, both of them. There's parts of it, like I get part of it, why it works or why it worked at the time, but they are not aging well. That being said, the character is still fascinating, but there is a big genre shift from I'm just a, PTSD veteran trying to find a place to live to I'm going to blow up a country.
Yeah.
That I and that's some like I said, I'm a product of the 80s. And then by the way, if you want to get really weird, it's the fact there was a cartoon made of Rambo for
That's
kids.
true.
Yeah.
Because
Um
Rambo First Blood Part 2 was such a huge hit. It's another one of those that was bigger than the original.
yeah. And so anyway, it's that's a movie that is a total genre shift between the first one and the second.
Which leads me into this. We just keep on with these genre shifts and these sequels that completely change and they all go back to one person, which is going to lead me into mine. We blame all this on James Cameron, Aliens as compared to Alien. James Cameron wrote the first draft of Rambo First Blood Part 2. James Cameron made Terminator and Terminator 2. James Cameron gave us Aliens. James Cameron said, Aliens pretty good. That's a haunted house picture in space. I can't do that. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. We'll put a bunch of Marines in there and shoot the shit out of. And there's a lot of stuff in there about corporate greed, and all that take place throughout all of his movies. Whether it be, I don't know, from Titanic to Terminator to
Avatar,
corporations are
Unobtainium.
evil. Avatar is all about
Wait.
corporations are
What did you call it, James?
Unobtainium, right? Isn't
I
that what
didn't think
unobtainium.
that's what you. I didn't think that's what you said.
I didn't hear him. I was yeah. But so I know what Chad wanted me to do, but Alien and Aliens are two tonally different movies. Although there are I'm watching that documentary. It's 5 hours long. It's exhaustive. And if it's on AMC or if you've got Shudder about the making of Aliens, and it does do a side by side. He did go out of his way in certain places to play, I wouldn't say homage, but to say, yes, this is the same universe going for certain shots, certain things, but it is a tonally different movie.
well I mean you call it a haunted house film. I mean the first one really is a horror film.
It's a horror film. It's a haunted house movie in space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
And
creature, and yeah.
and the second one's an action war film. Well, you've got the Marines. You've got
Got the
and so
Marines, and
it really
government's bad.
yeah.
Corporations are bad. They're all out, which the first one says that too. They're all worried about their
Yeah.
shares. It,
But it really is. I mean, the creature is the same, generally speaking. We get a
mhm.
little expansion of it in the second one, but
Yeah, it explains the queen. He got
yeah,
to
yeah,
explain the queen and how it reproduces, right? The
yeah.
eggs. It's
But
a
yeah,
sorry.
I agree.
It it's something I guess he's done. I mean, they all have kind of the same underlying messages, but it is a very different movie. So, Chad, bring us home.
Oh my God, you all. How do I go from here? Because there's two obvious ones.
Or James Cameron.
I think I'm gonna wait for you all to talk about in the honorable mentions. I'm gonna shift tone. I'm gonna go to TV for this. This is my last one because what? Because yeah, TV. Granted, they take ideas. They essentially take out every single element that made them entertaining and turn them into mush a lot of times. But I don't think anything is as tragic as the sequel series to one of the most popular television shows of all time.
Oh,
I am talking about After MASH.
oh.
I had to talk about this was on
I've
my,
never seen it.
it is a travesty of a television show. So what is After MASH? So the Korean War's over. Colonel Potter is now back at home with his wife, who he talked about constantly in the series, and he is a small town country doctor. But for some reason, what do? They bring back Klinger, who, if you remember from the end of the first of the original series, he's off in Korea looking for his wife's parents. Never discussed in Aftermath. Also, Father Mulcahy's there. If you remember what happened to Father Mulcahy, he was going deaf. Guess what they threw away in Aftermath? He can hear again.
I got to go back and watch the ending of MASH. I don't remember any of this shit.
And then, of course, you have Radar O'Reilly, who is there. And again, he left early because he had to go take care of his parents, but that suddenly has relieved itself. And now he's living right next to Colonel Potter in this small town in Aftermath. And basically, what was a serious sitcom esque show is now just a straight sitcom.
How many seasons did Aftermath run?
One, two.
So they had to have Radar.
It lasted two seasons.
They had to have Radar though, because he's the only one that was in the movie, or the same actor.
But again, they just took out everything that MASH had built and ripped it apart to make this overly sentimental sitcom. And I'm surprised. I honestly thought it only lasted one season, but it actually lasted two. So I know it's drifting from the movie elements, but when we were talking about sequels, I was like, this is the best example of a sequel series that just completely threw out everything that a show had been building for what, 10 years at the time? That's how long MASH was on the air, I believe.
I
10
thought
years.
It was on for like 12 or 13 seasons. I'm not for sure. It was on a long time.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up because I think I'm talking out my ass here.
The other sequel to MASH was Trapper John MD. Am I remembering that correct?
That's correct. That was
yeah.
And I think that ran a while.
Yeah, Trapper John MD ran 7 seasons. I've never seen an episode, but I remember it being aired.
I am sure I have seen an episode, but I couldn't tell you a damn thing about it, nor can I remember anything about it. So while Chad's looking that up, should we do some honorable mentions while he's still looking?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go first,
I will go first. I think the one that Chad wanted me to talk about that is like the Ninja. He's not wrong. Is
11 years.
Is 11 years. I thought it was more than 10, but I didn't know. I thought it was even longer than that. Is the Evil Dead trilogy.
Yeah.
Evil Dead is which also is a dark comedy. And then Evil Dead 2, very much a dark comedy with a budget, but it's almost a remake, guys. And then Army of Darkness, what the fuck? is supposedly originally titled the Medieval Dead.
And this was, by the way, the series that I says is basically tonally the same as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle original trilogy.
The tone, or you mean just the
overall plot? The
plot. Yeah. You get darker, and then they went back in time.
And then and so dark tonally the first one, kind of goofy the second one, except for Turtles 2 is really goofy, and then they go back in time.
They go back in time.
Turtles
the only difference is the best. I do stand by the best Evil Dead movie is still always, and I'll probably always will be, Evil Dead 2. But
yeah,
oh god, there's no such thing as a bad Evil Dead either.
No,
there just isn't. Even if I've talked to somebody about this the other day, and I was like, well, Evil Dead, and I know James isn't a big fan of Evil Dead, but I was like, yeah, it's not a bad movie.
It's not bad.
And that woman kills it.
Bad.
Literally. That's an Oscar-worthy performance in that picture.
For what it is well done.
Oh, it
It
is. And it
just didn't add anything new
no,
in my
no, I don't disagree with you there. I mean, it took it
yeah,
out of the woods.
yeah.
I guess that is the new thing. It did take it out of the woods.
If you go into
And
the
it
woods
should have made
today,
that lady into a star, the one who played the mom.
yeah.
That, jeez, she's perfect in that. Anyway, that was one of my honorable mentions. So what about the rest of you all?
One that came to mind, and I kept going back and forth on it, but I think it works better as a. I don't know if it's a real genre shift or if it's just a slow change over time across all the films. Mad Max. I think the
They
first one is
all do. It's
really
also on the list. That's also on the list.
it's a great thriller. The first one, it's a revenge thriller.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is a post-apocalyptic action film,
Yeah.
and then it kind of continues from there, going on from there. So that's one that came to
Fury
my
Road is
mind.
shot like a musical in a way. It just is. It's just the way it's edited. It's just kind of to me, I don't know. Maybe that's a personal thing. It's just kind of how I react to it. It's
Well,
very staged. It's like dance.
and I may make some people who could I know there's huge fans of this out there. I don't know if they watch our show, but I would also argue Phantasm is another one like that. The first movie is a surreal.
Fever
Salvador
Dream.
Dali always comes
Again,
to my
that's a
mind. It's a
fever
surreal
dream.
fever dream, and then the second one is a more conventional action horror. Right?
Yep.
It's this is good, this is bad. Whereas that first one,
Hmm.
I love it in because it is a fever dream. Because I can't. First time I watched Phantasm, I'm like, I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen next, other than it's going to be weird
Or
and
I
fun.
can't tell you what happened.
Um,
It's not like there's a plot.
so yeah. So that one came to mind. Um, Another one, and again, some people may go me, but I would argue Return of the Living Dead and Return of the Living Dead 2 are very much genre shifts from a punk horror movie to let's say sanitized
Yeah.
teen horror comedy.
Kind of. I don't know. I rewatched Return of the Living Dead Part 2 a few years ago, and I actually completely forgotten everything about it except for them all being electrocuted at the end, and I always just like that. I love 80s animation electrocution, sparks and whatnot, like Big Trouble in Little China with lightning. I just love that. I love that. Anyway,
One other one I'll throw out, and this one I did get from my list because I didn't think about it, but after I created my list, I did look at the list, and I was like, that's probably fair. If you're a big werewolf fan, The Howling and The Howling 2 are different
oh yeah.
films.
It was on my list. Yeah.
They are drastically different. One is a serious werewolf horror movie. That'd be the first one. The other one is, let's just kindly say, a fantasy film, maybe.
Oh, I got one more, Chad. If you want, do you want to list one of yours and then I can do because I only have one
I'll
more.
stop now.
Joe,
I'll,
go for yours because I want to see
Chronicles
if
of
you're.
Riddick.
yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, that's on that. I
Pitch
saw
Black and
that.
Chronicles of Riddick, and then kind of Riddick. Riddick kind of goes back to more of what the other one was, but
Pitch Black, yeah.
not really. But Chronicles of Riddick is a completely different thing. It's not even close. Just happens to have Vin Diesel as Riddick and the same writer director. They just changed everything.
Um, yeah, I think you might kick yourself for not saying this one because I was waiting for you the whole episode to even mention it. It's right up there with T Terminator and T2 and Evil Dead.
What
Halloween and Halloween 3.
I that to me, it's
It's
not
a
so.
sequel.
It is a sequel. But I don't put it, I saw it on a couple of those lists, and I just don't see it that way. To me, it
It's
still
still a horror
probably
movie,
takes
right?
place in that kind of the same universe. And to me, it's the tones kind of, I know and I don't disagree with what they're saying. It's like, it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. It's not about, I get what they're saying. But tonally, that movie's kind of the same to me. Does that make sense to you all?
Yeah,
No, but
like I said, it's still a horror movie, so it fits in the horror
it's
genre.
still horror. It's kind of in the same world. It's shot by the same people. I don't know. It looks kind of like the other ones. I don't know. I saw it on several of those lists and I was like, I don't know. It doesn't kick me
I,
like that.
oh, Okay.
But they totally, I
Um,
get what you're saying. They totally took Michael Myers out of it, but I,
and it's about robot human
which is,
things
but to
and
it just looks like it's in the same universe. Oh well.
okay. I don't get it, but okay. I'm not arguing with you. Um, the other one, and I swear to God, I've been having a fever dream the whole episode thinking you guys mentioned this, but you may not. Star Trek and Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, yeah. But
So I was like shocked that nobody brought it up.
That's
no,
another one that I don't know why it doesn't. I saw it's
They are
you're right on. It's on
completely
several of those
two different
lists.
films.
yeah, they are. No, I argue, and I'm a big Star Trek fan, that the movie that's closest to the show is Star Trek: The Motion Picture, as far as being the show was had those episodes about exploration, right,
Yeah.
and
And it's
discovering
not
new
an action
things.
film. It's not
And
an action film at all.
no, no, it has more DNA in common with 2001: A Space Odyssey
Yeah.
than it does with Star Wars.
Or the black hole. Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just completely yeah. And then you get Star Trek 2, which
But
is
Star
the
Trek
exact
2 is exactly the way the rest of them are.
Oh, I agree.
well,
It
I know, but
changed what those movies
Yeah.
were.
what I'm saying is the first one is different from the second one. So
Much
yeah,
No,
like
I'm not
Rambo,
yeah.
Rambo, First Blood Part Two, changed the what Rambo was.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I agree. Chad's right in that the first movie still has. I mean, it even ends with that tagline, which I love: "The human adventure is just beginning." It's such a positive, upbeat thing. And as much as I love Wrath of Khan, and it tries to have, it has that great closing scene, but it doesn't end as upbeat as the human adventure is just beginning.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
I mean, you just killed off Spock.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and it shouldn't, right? It would be out of tone if everybody
It's
was happy and
that's
cheering. But
another one. That's another one. I don't disagree with you. I just it doesn't occur to me, but it's another one where how did they get that done? Because it is so well because they did it for a third of the budget.
yeah,
And it proved that William Shatner actually could act.
Yeah, but we learned from Nicholas Meyer, or if I don't know if he talked about it on our show, but I know he talked about it's like, oh, well, if you just kept doing takes, he'd break down and
Yeah.
stop doing the thing.
yeah. Well, but I mean, honestly, it's one of those things. Like I said, I agree, Chad, because the first movie is really about that idea of exploration and
hmm
encountering things that you don't know. There is really nothing that they encounter in the Wrath of Khan that is a strange new world or new civilization, right? It's
No, it's
Khan.
yeah.
It's and so
They
the
wouldn't get back to a strange new world or civilization until the fourth one, and that's a probe that come to kill everybody.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think you're right. One is a science fiction epic. One's an action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
A science
revenge
fiction
action
action
film.
movie.
It's a revenge
It's
action
a
film.
revenge, yeah. And so and by the way, I love both of them. I will admit, as far
You
as
love
which
one
one's
way more than the other, though.
I was gonna say, which one did I go back and see in theaters because I wanted to see it on the big screen? Yeah, it's Wrath of Khan.
Oh
Yeah.
my God,
But
so good.
but the motion picture it's a smart movie. Robert Wise directed
Yeah,
that.
Robert Wise.
It's
Yeah,
it's a smart movie, but it was not what the
the
fans
Voyager
wanted out
thing
of it.
works. The V'ger thing works.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Uh,
it's a great concept and it does make me think. There's actually a story I want to tell for years that I'm not going to talk about the setup for here, but there's so many things that we have put out into the cosmos, so to speak. And what are we going to do if one comes back to us? It's a great question because it ain't going to come back the way we sent it out.
Nope. All right.
The three that are off the wall that people don't think about, other than those are the main ones. I do want to briefly mention Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2, two completely different films.
They
Yeah.
are.
Um, I know Joe feels indifferent about this one, but Suicide Squad and then the Suicide Squad, which is a sequel to the original Suicide Squad, they're two different
Totally
films.
different movies. They are.
And I still go back and watch the James Gunn version. I love
I
that
need to
movie so
rewatch it
much.
someday.
It's one of my it's seriously one of my favorite superhero
I
films.
showed my son wanted to see. He goes, "Can I watch the Suicide Squad?" And I'm like, "Which one?" He goes, "Which one would you recommend?" And I was like, "The one with Peacemaker." I
Yeah.
did. I didn't name directors because he doesn't know, but
And then finally, I did want to mention this one. I'm going back to TV. Everybody loves The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, but you know what nobody talks about? It's Grinch Night, the sequel to The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
I've never seen it.
It is so if you're not familiar with it, it's basically the Halloween edition
Mhm.
of The Grinch. It is tonally so dark and disturbing. There's
Is
a
it
lot
on
of
YouTube?
I think so. I
Because
haven't
Q
looked it
and I
up.
couldn't find it. We tried looking
Yeah.
for it back at Christmas time.
Yeah, it is by far way different. If you've never seen It's Grinch Night, try to find a copy. You will be absolutely blown away that it is not The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. So yeah, I had to mention that one because it is drastically different from the original.
By the way, there's real quick. Speaking of sequels that do change tone,
And Joe, yes, it's on YouTube. I just see it here in complete high quality edition on YouTube.
There was something we tried looking for, and I thought we went on YouTube, but maybe we didn't really look really hard. We tried looking for it over the Christmas break because he watched a video about all the different Grinches throughout the years.
there is a sequel to the book as well, which is Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Lost Christmas. And the plot to that, do y'all know the plot to the follow-up
No.
book?
Mm-mm.
It was only released in 2023, so
Oh.
Dr. Seuss did not write this. It was written with the permission of his estate. The Grinch decides that he will enter a Christmas tree contest, and it's about him trying to make the ultimate Christmas tree, and the title kind of gives away the spoiler.
I will say, and if you don't want to watch all of It's Grinch Night, I do recommend looking up the main song from that special, "The Grinch Is Going to Get You."
The Grinch is going to get you. The Grinch is going to get you.
No,
tonight.
not that, not even close. But yeah, so I just wanted to recommend that because again, people I feel like don't even know that exists. It's Grinch
Yeah.
Night, unless you're a hardcore fan.
What I'm blanking on. It's the Grumble, right, from The
Mhm.
Simpsons?
That's also in that YouTube video that he watched. Oh my God, so many times where they just go from the beginning of the Grinch and take it all the way through to Benedict Cumberbatch.
Groove. No.
All right. Anything else, gentlemen?
That's it.
If you all are aware of other ones that we've missed, we would love to see them in the comments. Please put something in the comments. The comments are so lonely. Why do you leave them lonely? It's not like Joe, where his parents abandoned him.
And with that, I'm going to go. Well, I can't make that joke. Have a good week. This has been Bonehead Weekly.